Hello everyone, welcome back to Beneath the Kotatsu. This is episode 18. My name's On. Next to me is my co-host James.
Hello everybody, welcome back.
And today we're going to be talking about the 2/3 way through spring anime. Just give us our, our thoughts on what we liked, what we kept watching, what we dropped. So James, what anime are you currently, up to date on?
I know I said I was gonna watch like everything, but
yeah,
I've definitely haven't had the energy to watch some of these shows. Like Vivi, I put on hiatus for a few weeks until I marathoned it to be current.
Right.
86, I'm way behind. I'm only at like episode 3. Teasing Sensei Nagatoro-san or whatever the heck, Nagatoro anime. I'm current on that one. I'm loving it. That Fumetsu no Anatai, come on. Of course I'm going to be current on that one. It's like one of the best shows of the season. How would you not? The one where the girl gets adopted by the salary man, Hige Wosoru, then it's a long title. I'm current on that one. It's been really good. I've been indulging the Isekai Maoto Shokan trash isekai anime, and it's been paying dividends nicely. I'll say that. It's been hilarious.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I really am. And it's just because of the Pecora cameo, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
It was definitely hilarious.
What about the other filler, 300 slime?
Oh, definitely behind. I'm like, I don't know, episode 3. Every episode has felt a little bit like the same. I would have been okay with this just being like an OVA. That would have been enough. But
that's what I told you, like when the first time we talked about this anime. I was like, it was good, like the first episode was good, and then it just kind of died off after the third episode because it felt like it was gonna go the same way. And you know what you told me? You're like, nah, this is gonna be a great anime. I'm gonna watch this all the way through. And I'm like, yeah, I'm dropping it. And then
I haven't dropped it. It's on hiatus.
You griped me for like a good minute. You griped me for a good minute about like why I'm dropping this anime. Like it just doesn't. It's not like an anime I can invest time in, especially with the whole cast of like great animes we have this season. Okay, so let's just go straight into the review. And before we actually talk about any like straight up anime, right?
Yeah.
Can you give me your rating for? I don't want any reviews. Just give me a straight up rating for Fumetsu no Anatae.
Oh, that's
just give me no. Just give me a straight number. Just give me a straight number.
10 out of 10. Fuck it.
10. Okay.
What
10.
else
okay.
did I'm gonna give a 10 out of 10?
Okay. No. Okay. So let's just both agree that we won't talk about this. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. Let's just agree we won't talk about this and just say it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Yeah, I feel like we should, like, anything we say about this anime is just gonna end up like not doing it justice.
There's no way we could give a proper review to this compared to the writing going on. That's what I'll say. And the opening is probably the best, if not the second best opening of any anime this season.
When you say opening, do you mean like the
opening
first episode?
theme? Opening
theme.
The
opening theme. Yeah. I mean, like it did have a really good opening theme. I would say what was it, the
Mashiro no Oto?
Yeah, I thought that had a good opening theme until they changed it.
Oh, the worst. Why did they do that? It's not like it's a bad opening, it's just not as good. Like, clearly, why would you take out that shamisen? At least they kept out the ending theme for that show. And it's really good. I like it.
I know. Like, okay, so the first opening theme like had a really cool shamisen opening, and it really hyped you up. The second, I don't even know why they swapped it halfway through, like episode.
Maybe because it's a different arc or something like that.
I mean, it's like 12 episodes total, and they swapped it out in episode 5. Most animes don't do that, and they swapped it out with a pop song, and I'm like, why? This is horrible. I do agree with you that it's pretty nice that they kept the closing ending or whatever. And I really like, did you watch the latest episode?
Oh yeah. But before I say that, I just wanted to mention the opening song is Blizzard by Burnout Syndromes. I've been playing that song on repeat like it's nobody's business. I've been loving
the original one, right?
The first one. Yeah.
I loved did you notice at the end of the latest episode? I think it was like episode 8, right?
Yeah.
at the very end, they did that really awesome transition into the ending song.
They did.
And I was like, oh, I am hyped for the next episode. Like, it's so
you know what it was
crazy.
for me? It wasn't hype. I was like, oh my god, fucking play the thing already. I can't wait a freaking week. So this is the anime, along with Fumetsu no Anatai, that's keeping me from watching the other shows. Because these are like the two main shows that I have pure hype for every single week. Like, all my attention is devoted to these two shows. Like, I can't be excited for those shows as much as I am for these two.
It's so crazy how we have so many, like, this season alone is jam-packed with some of the best animes I have ever seen. Like, when can you actually say that, like, in one season of anime you've given, like, you know, multiple animes like an 8.5 or a 9 plus?
Exactly.
It's crazy. It is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. Like, I know we had some big hitters last season, but that's because like a lot of them were like, you know, second seasons, or like Attack on Titan. Where
Don't forget, it was a backup from the COVID mania running wild for a few months, pushing a bunch of stuff back. So it was a backlog. I'm sure this is backlog too. Yeah. But it's still, you know, I'm getting content overload over here. So much good stuff going on.
Yeah, that's why I told you, like, how I wasn't able to, you know, how I wasn't gonna be able to keep up watching all these like filler animes, because there is a lot of filler this season, but there are just some crazy, like, exponentially crazy good animes this season as well.
I wouldn't say like the filler on anime aren't bad. Like, freaking probably Dyna Zenon is one I would never pick up again, but like maybe the Kabaddi anime would definitely return to it. Even though I'm not in the mood for sports anime. Cestus is definitely a filler anime, but I've been enjoying it. I've been keeping up with that one every week for sure. Feels like huh?
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying, like, the time investment in watching those filler animes is like, if this season didn't have, like, you know, Fumetsu no Anata, and it didn't have like Taxi and all these crazy high ranking animes, I definitely watch them. But, you know, as far as like the like, for me, I usually keep up with like my brain, you know, could maybe keep up with like maybe 5 or 6 animes like a season.
That's about the same for me too.
Exactly.
Anything more than that feels like obligation. It takes like the fun
overload
out of it.
Yeah, it's overload, and it's not fun watching anime anymore, right?
That's why I've been putting some of these shows on hold for a few weeks, then marathoning it when I get into the move. Like 86, I'm definitely gonna come back to it. I'm never gonna drop that. I'm gonna watch it all the way to the end for sure. That's a promise.
I liked 86, but it doesn't feel like an anime you just kind of want to watch every week, like, you know, unlike Fumetsu, like, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna pop this on the minute it comes on, because I need to know what happens next. Same thing with a lot of these animes. Like, I need to know what happened next.
Dude, at the end of the season for Mashiro no Uta, I was like, fuck, another week we gotta wait for her to get up on stage. I went back and watched the previous episode Shamisen playing from like episode 1, the grandpa playing Shamisen in the opening. I went back and watched all those scenes again just to get myself prepared. And I never do that. I never go back and watch scenes that much. When it's the same season, I never do that. But there's some shows that made me watch it.
Like the anime is like a 9.5 or a 10, right? It's ridiculously good.
So far for me, it's a 10 too. That's like, I've never been this excited for a show. So
okay, so let me ask you, like, I've seen a lot of animes like this, and oh my god, what
do you mean, like a strong start and then the ending messes it up?
No. So what was the anime with Karuta? I forgot the name of it.
Chihayafuru. How do you always forget the name of that show? That's like one of your favorite anime. I only remember it because you like it a lot. I don't like it. It's like, I don't hate it. It's just, you know, not my cup of tea.
I don't know why you don't like Chihayafuru, because it follows like the same story structure as the Shamisen anime. So I don't know why you don't like it.
Do you know why? Why? It's just because obviously it's a good show. I'd give it, for me personally, probably a 7 point or an 8 out of 10. It's just it doesn't have the instrument in it, right? The shamisen, like, because we normally don't watch shows with instruments like this. It's always like a guitar or a piano, and this is like same with the kabaddi anime. First time we've had something out of left field for us because we're not used to that sort of stuff. The Karuta is just another card game to me, even though
but it's not just another card game. It's
right, memorization with poems.
Yeah, but it's like something different, something you would only find in Japan. Same thing with the shamisen, something you would only find in Japan. That's why I like Chihaya Furu so much.
Yeah.
It's because it feels refreshing. I just don't know why you don't like it. It follows the same story structure.
I'm just not as excited for you. For me, it's like a normal show, but the way that they have the music playing, or he's making a blizzard, or they feel spring, stuff like that.
They have that in Chihaya Furu too. I don't think you've gotten far enough into.
I know there's like 3 seasons. I only saw the first, but it's been quite a while since I saw that.
Right. I don't know. I feel
it's
like
not like
you should
like if I wanted to watch a hype card game, I'm just gonna watch a Yu-Gi-Oh again, dude. Because like they go to Shadow Realm and stuff like that, and like they go into the zone, all this crazy stuff, Heart of the Cards, and that's kind of like the hype that I get from Mashiro Roto, except more than Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh, like the original Yu-Gi-Oh was just a bunch of rule breaking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna invent this rule on the spot. Can you imagine just playing a game where you just invent a rule on the spot?
Yeah, imagine having a card that there's only 4 of in existence. Like, come on, dude. That should be banned by the tournament. There's some bad card.
It's basically like inventing your own card and then putting it to the game and just saying
What is it in Magic and the Gathering? They have like cards you can play and cards you can't play for a given season.
Oh,
common and banned.
The ban list.
Yeah, they should ban the Blue Eyes. But we're like getting to something from like 20 years ago that came out.
I just thought it was like it said straight up, like I don't know, it was just a bunch of rule breaking. And then I think the biggest rule breaking was like when like Yugi was so OP they had to nerf him. When he was on the ship, he was showing that one bug kid like his deck, and then the kid just ripped up his Exodia and then threw it into the water. I'm like, okay, well,
they jumped off the boat to recover it. Yeah, I
mean, it was already ripped up, so it can't really be used anymore. But still, I was like, okay, well, I guess your deck is nerfed now. Whatever. I feel like they made his deck better by ripping up the Exodia, because his deck was not min max to actually draw Exodia. He just drew it the first time because he was lucky.
Yeah, it's just wasting space in his deck. You can't actually play that. Maybe once every 30 games he'll get it out successfully without it being countered or anything like that.
Exactly. Okay, that was a weird tangent.
I mean, Chiafuru brought me there.
Okay. Let's talk about the anime you didn't watch last season, which I thought was amazing.
Which one?
So
wait, you mean last season?
Oh, okay, not last season. The last time we talked about this season, Super Cub. How do you like it? I
actually didn't watch any more episodes of it. I completely forgot it existed until you just mentioned it right now. It's so bad. What happened in that show?
I mean, like, it just, the same thing happens. Like, nothing like amazing happens, but it follows like the same story structure. I'm not gonna say it's better than Fumetsu no Anata for this season, but it's still one of my favorite animes.
Dude, how bad is it that I completely forgot to watch this show? That's how packed this season is. Same with Tokyo Revengers. I keep on meaning to watch it, but then the day that maybe Mashiro no Ota comes out is the day it's like, oh shit, better go watch that, and then I forget to watch Tokyo Revengers because I'm distracted.
I know it's super high on the list, but neither of us have watched it. We definitely need to watch it. And then
I watched 3 episodes and it's good. It's just, I keep on forgetting. Yeah. Same with Super Cub.
Did you at least watch the first episode?
Yeah, of course. It was amazing. Like, definitely everything you said about the colors and the music changing, about the light coming into her life with that little, what is it, a Honda engine scooter?
Yeah, the Super Cub. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I mean, definitely feels like an advertisement for, the Super Cubs, the Hondas or whatever, but it's beautiful and it's still worth the watch. It's just there's so much good stuff. I keep on forgetting to see it.
right, like the thing I was talking about is like how that the part where she gets on the Cub and then she turns it on, bam, like instant change.
Piano music,
yeah,
color interface, everything else is pale.
Yeah, like
and then she
no.
goes and lights up her life because she has nothing else, right? She's just the only kid working the job.
Yeah, like you want to know what's funny is like this season it has a lot of like there's a lot of the same thing where it's like all these kids with no parents, and I'm like, what?
They don't have no foster care system in Japan.
I don't know why, but like there's a lot of things where it's like, oh, I don't have parents, something like that. Like I don't get why she doesn't have parents. She doesn't. It was like a one sentence thing where it's like I live alone and I don't have parents. And
they didn't go into it in all the episodes out. Like, did they die or something?
Not at all. They did not talk about it whatsoever. But I'm fine with that.
It's not everything needs to be said, right? Show don't tell.
Yeah, but that's why I like Super Cup. It is the epitome of show don't tell. Like, was I not right when I said like there was very little dialogue in the anime? Like,
you were right. Very little.
They expressed everything through color, through sound, just through the emotions. Like they showed you the emotion in the anime. That's why I said like when I watched Super Cup, it felt like I was watching a Ghibli movie almost.
For me, it was an advertisement because same thing with Mashiro Noto where my brain went, oh man, I want to go buy a Xiaomi set. I was like, man, I want to buy a Super Cub. I'm learning how to use one right now. They have that instruction manual, everything.
I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah, when her bike broke down, I was like, man, I wonder how that would feel because I haven't had my car break down on me before. And it must feel hopeless for that to happen to you when you don't have a cell phone or anybody to call, no AAA, nothing like that.
Right. I mean, it's so cool. Like, I never knew, those kind of bikes had like a reserve.
I know, right?
Gas tank, and I was like, yeah, like the bit of when she was pulling out that the guidebook, or whatever. Like, like what my mind instantly went to. It was so random. Do you remember that arc in Yu-Gi-Oh where he was playing battle dice or something?
Yeah, with Duke Devlin.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about Yu-Gi-Oh so much?
I don't know. I don't know why, but I'm okay. So we brought it up at the beginning, so like now my mind came back to it.
All right.
It's the part where like Duke Devlin is fighting Yugi, and Yugi. This is like Yugi's first time playing this like weird
Dungeon
dice game. Yeah, Dungeon Dice. Yeah, whatever. And there's this part in the anime where Duke's looking over to Yugi, and Yugi's like scanning this rule book of the game and how to play the game, and Duke's like, look at him over there reading the rules of the game which I invented. And I'm like, oh, what?
Oh my god.
Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I do. He was like, well, why would he even, he just went in cold turkey. He didn't even bother reading the rules. I mean, he's like, I'm gonna cheat my way out of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like, why does Yugi need to read the rules when he's a cheater?
He's got the built-in RNG mechanic in his body. That's what it is.
I don't know. I don't know why that went, like, my mind went straight to that when she pulled out the book. But that's immediately what I thought of. But
I can see you doing that. I didn't, but okay.
Yeah, it's so random, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what other show Super Cub reminds me of? The one in this season. It's a short one. I don't know how long it is, like 7 or 13 minutes. The one about pottery making. Did you watch any more of that one? I just watched one episode and I kind of put it on the back burner because I'm gonna.
Yeah, same thing. Back burner for me too, because it feels like a little bit of a time investment as well, because
it's not. It's super short. It's like 7 minutes or 10, right?
No,
I'm just gonna marathon it.
No. You have to watch both of them, the real one and the anime, which is.
What do you mean the real one?
So the anime actually has the regular anime, which is around 7 minutes, and then it has like a secondary edition where the voice actors go out and do pottery, or they show you around like this town that does pottery. Yeah. So in total, it's roughly around the same length as a normal anime.
You don't have to watch it though, right? It's just extra. It's just teaching you about pottery. I guess you should watch the whole thing. You should
watch it.
It's part of it. Yeah.
It's very informative. Yeah, it's very informative.
I wasn't even aware that it had a second part.
Yeah, it had like a, like when I was watching it, and I was like, why does this have a 1 and then a 1.1? I was like, that's so weird. But yeah, it has a secondary part, and I would say it's definitely worth the watch. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It feels like you're getting away a little bit from the anime, but it's the voice actors. They're doing cute things, and they're showing off like pottery and how to make pottery, and then the process of it's. I know it's a filler, but it's an informative filler, which is one of my favorite things. Informative fillers.
Yeah, and so I wanted to ask you, have you been watching Sentoin Hakenshimasu? It's the one about the guy. It's another filler anime. He does bad things to get points so he could buy stuff from his company store.
At all. Is it worth watching?
For a filler anime, it's up there for sure. If you already had to watch one filler anime this season, I'd probably make it that one for me.
Would you consider Slime a filler anime this season?
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
Slime
I have no desire to watch it. I saw the first episode, like, this is not for me.
Was it because they switched up studio? Was it because they switched up studio?
Yeah, and like after being spoiled for
like the original storyline, right?
Exactly. So the OVAs were, I wouldn't say they're filler, it's in another arc, but it did feel like filler. Do you remember the OVAs where he was a teacher?
Yeah.
I want filler like that where he's actually building up something. He's just farming and stuff like that. Obviously, I haven't watched the rest of the episodes. It's on episode 8 right now. I saw the first one, but that first one just made me not interested in the whole thing.
I'm not fully caught up in it. I'm a couple episodes behind, but you are right. It's straight up filler. There's no additional content of story building.
Why would I watch that when I could catch up on 86?
I mean, 86 is not a filler though.
No, it's not. But it's taking this time slot of something else that I should be watching, like Shadow House, which I put in 2 episodes in, and I need to put in more because it looks like a banger.
Is it worth watching?
I don't know. I have 2 episodes in it. I have so many questions. Just I keep on getting distracted by other things like Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, I have 1 episode into it. It feels like I'll repeat what I said like in our original episode, where if it's down your alley and you feel like watching it, watch it. Like for me, it feels like an anime. I'm gonna drop like maybe episode 3 or 4 if I keep watching it, just because it's not something that appeals to me. Like it doesn't speak to me as an anime.
That's how I felt about the one with the orphans in that prison thing, by Clover. Do you remember something Wonderland?
Oh, the one where they eat kids.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. So that's why I wasn't, felt like that type of thing is like it's gonna be something nefarious like that. But I'm gonna go back to it and watch it because this one's interesting with the soot monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah, it feels like a good anime, but it's one where it's not down your alley and you have to physically sit yourself down to watch it. Like I don't know if I would be able to do that, especially with all the animes we currently have. Yeah. But if I can see myself doing that if we have like a season where it's not that it's not that popping and we have that extra time, or like I said, like usually I have 5 to 6 animes I watch a season.
You're right. Have any of those been the sports anime this season or no?
I don't think I've seen any sports anime this season. Not really.
For me, Megalobox has been filling that whole season 2. Megalobox, good lord, it's so much better than the original for me. Maybe really? I can appreciate it more because of the base that the original Megalobox had there. Because I watched that show like 3 freaking times. It was so good. This one is like he's fallen from grace. He's a few years older. He's going through a bunch of issues. Like I don't know if you want me to spoil it because you're probably never going to go through the original, right?
I mean, I finished the original. I'm thinking about watching season 2.
Oh, I'm not going to say anything. For me, the show is easily 9 out of 10, 8.5. Easily. Not. I wouldn't say 10 because of Fumetsu and the Mashiro no Oto, but yeah, it's definitely my top, at least top 3rd anime this season for sure.
Like in its own right, like as a as like a sports or boxing anime, would you at least give it a 10?
It's not like a pure. Cestus is more of the pure fighting show this season, I'd say. Yeah, because they're like fighting. Yeah, it's more story about the character and his struggles, the people he lives in, his area. More like his type of people. Like I wouldn't call them gypsies. They're definitely from like another country. He's like part of a group of people that emigrated from out of the country and are trying to, gain a spot in the world that they live with. Because you know how desolate everything is in Megalobox?
Yeah.
It's just like a bunch of nomads living, and he's interacting with them with the same old bad people he did in the past as well. And, trying to make amends for previous failures he did.
So is this still an anime about boxing? What?
Boxing is definitely taking a back seat. It's getting there. Like, they box and stuff like that, but it's not super important to the show.
Interesting.
The first one was more boxing centered. This one's more of a drama for me.
Like is it almost kind of like slice of life type?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Not happy.
Well, not all slice of life is happy. So I might pick it up just because you said that.
It's it gave me the feels just like Fumetsu did. But not every episode. They build up to it and they properly build up everything.
I like how we said we weren't gonna talk about Fumetsu, but we're basing everything off of Fumetsu.
I know, dude. It's you know what it is. It's a standard bearer.
Yeah,
those two shows for me are the standard bearer. Nothing else comes close to it.
I feel like you should not use Fumetsu as a standard.
No,
it
shouldn't.
It's like using like Usain Bolt as a standard. Like, are you faster than Usain Bolt? Like, you can't use him as a standard.
Definitely, you're right about that. Because it's not even the same genre, but it evokes a lot of feelings in me. So that's why I use it as a comparison.
That makes sense. Like, does it give you the same feeling? To the level of that. Yeah, like it's because all these anime are in are in the same seasons. I guess that's why we're comparing them all to Fumetsu.
It's not appropriate to do that at all. I would say in a proper review.
Not at all. Okay, so let's talk about Nagatoro-san. So do you remember when we first talked about it? I watched the first episode and I said I didn't like the anime.
Did you keep watching more?
I did watch more. I watched the second episode and I was like, oh, okay, this is actually getting better. It's because the first episode was so one-sided. It didn't feel like a good anime.
Yeah, it felt more like a harassment towards a school character, right? That put a little bit of a bad taste in my mind, but I knew what it was just because of, people posting it on forums, stuff like that. And that's how it gained, like Watamota did back in the day.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, I know this is going to build up to something good. And it's delivered, itching
I agree.
That perfectly. Like, does the job that, it's meant to. It's perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Especially the newest episode 8, was so nice. It's completely.
I don't think I've seen 8 yet. I think I saw 7. I'm on 7, but so I watched the second episode and because I was like, okay, well, I don't want to just stop it at the first episode, so I'll give it the second episode because I want to see what all the hype is talking about, because a lot of people are liking the anime, so I want to see why they're liking it. So after I watched the second episode, I was like, okay, now I get why they like the anime, because it's not one-sided. Like,
no, and it's slowly going towards the romance, but maintaining the comedy, and like it's two lines eventually gonna intersect, but that's way down the road. Right now, it's like, the spring of life. How's it that the old anime Basan say it? Seishun, or something like that.
I have no idea. But then
Seishun. Like how nice it is to be young, stuff like that.
Young or whatever.
Yeah.
So after I finished the second episode, I was like, okay, it's not one-sided. Nagatoro-san, like, even though she teases him, and she always tells him, like, oh, you can do this or that, and then in her mind, she's like, he ain't gonna do it because he's a whip, and then once he, like, psychs himself up to do something, she's like, "Oh crap, he's gonna do it," and then she gets super embarrassed. I'm like, yes,
yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, this is why the anime is good, because like of how well they go off of each other. Unlike episode one, I felt like it just didn't meet those standards for how the anime is gonna flow through, like throughout the whole thing. Like
that's why you gotta give it a few episode rules. Yeah.
That's how we see a lot of these animes. Like the 300 Slime anime, I thought the first episode was really good, and then it got really boring for, I don't know, the remaining episodes, because it just felt like
I'm gonna definitely catch up and see if something different happens.
You know it ain't. You know, it's gonna be the same thing over. It's like Kuma Bear. It started out good, and then it was just the same thing throughout. But Nagatoro-san is like the complete opposite. I just didn't like the first episode, but all the other episodes have been really, really.
Did you watch the
good.
one about the when they're in an MMO, I guess?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was so much fun.
That was so random.
It was hilarious. It was a dream, right?
Was it a dream?
Yeah, he like fell asleep in a cafe, and that's what happened.
Oh yeah, and he drew a notebook and everything of her, like
yeah, in a bunny costume. Found it.
I just love that she feels embarrassed, and then she takes that embarrassment and turns it into like embarrassing him.
I know, it's perfectly deflecting it.
I think my favorite part of that anime is like when she's teasing him, and then her friends try to tease him. Like, especially the part where she's like messing with his hair, and her friends is like, "I want to mess with it too." She's like, "No."
Slaps the hand away. Mine. It's super territorial. You wouldn't great. Like it. It's awful. And then the other friend knows that she like, puts fuel on the fire because she knows Nagatoro has feelings for him. Like, she can tell, and you can tell because of the type of facial expression that she has.
Yeah, they do a great job with the facial expression in the anime, like especially with the eyes, where like whenever she feels like jealousy, she always gets those like cat eyes with like the blank stare. I love that. It's great. It's
white pupil, dead eyes.
It's basically the what was that love comedy anime from like 2 seasons ago, of Kaguya-sama?
Love is War. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like that type of expression.
It's basically like
hers is like a menacing, like soka type of thing.
No, but I'm comparing it to like whenever like Kaguya-san goes like how cute, and she has that like that blank stare. Like I'm not comparing the two stares to each other. I'm just saying like it gives me the same vibes.
Yeah,
the vibe.
All right, that'd be fair to say.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you said you caught up on Full Dive. How are you liking it?
I definitely like the spin. This is gonna be a spoiler. Instead of if you die in the game, you die in real life. If you die in the game, your machine freaking breaks.
Wait, is that a thing? That's kind of.
How many episodes have you been in?
Maybe 3 episodes. How far are you in? Like, are you all the way
I'm current. I'm at EP8. Like a lot happens, but you could definitely marathon it. A lot happens over the episodes, but it's all in the same setting. Episode 9 is gonna be maybe where he gets out of the city that he's in. I'm not sure. He's still in the starting area, and he's basically on a path that nobody else has done before. It sounds like. So
be straight up with me. Like, should I continue watching this anime? Like, I know you're like the worst representative of should I watch X anime, because you're always like, yeah man, I'm watching this all the way through, and then you end up not watching it all the way through.
No, listen, I'm on episode 8 or 12. I'm watching it all the way.
So is it worth watching though? I'm not asking like should I watch it?
As far as for this season, you probably don't have time. You specifically, probably should watch something else in favor of it. This is like a rainy day anime. For you, it'd probably be a 7.2 out of 10. I would imagine.
Like you're saying that the Sentuin anime was good. Which one would you have me rather?
Full Dive for sure. Full Dive, easy.
You're like just a couple minutes ago. You're like,
I didn't consider that a filler anime at all. That's why.
I feel like Full Dive.
Because there's nothing else. Because that airs, I think, on a Wednesday is when I watch it. There's nothing else that airs that day, and so that's what I watch on Wednesday always. I always have to make sure that there's one anime per week that I watch. One episode per day of the week. Excuse me.
Yeah, I usually don't watch anime on a day-to-day basis.
I do.
I just usually just save them all up and then usually watch them. Like I don't have like a specific day for when I watch anime. It's just that when I have a huge block of free time, I'll watch all the animes at the same time. Yeah, because usually when you're in that mood for, if I'm gonna watch an anime, I'm just gonna watch a bunch of animes at the same time. That's how I usually am. I know some people are like, whenever it comes out, I'm like, especially with like HBO shows and stuff like that. Whenever there's a new episode,
you just binge it.
Yeah, you just kind of watch it. Like not binge it, but whenever there's a new episode, kind of like Game of Thrones, where it's like, oh, whenever there's a new episode, we're all gonna get together and watch this one episode.
I have to watch it alone. I can't enjoy anime with other people.
Well, I'm not talking about just watching it with other people. I'm just saying like that mindset of like whenever it's out, I'm watching it. I used to be like that with like, when you're a kid and you have like 4 kids, and then you have the Saturday, cartoons, and then you have to wake up early and you have that time slot. That's how I kind of felt.
That's how I structure my anime watching. Still. Exactly. It's fun, dude.
Exactly.
Cereal? Now, come on.
I feel like now kids don't have to go through that. I mean, you still kind of have to with like the weekly anime with the amount of backlog anime you can watch.
Well, if you're like on Amazon, if it's on Amazon, you're gonna watch it weekly regardless. Like Netflix is like the only one right now out of all the streaming services that do it all in one go. Everybody else is weekly at this point because they want people to stay on the service, for the full month and then some.
I mean, most people who watch the animes will probably do it through Crunchyroll, right? And then they do, and usually Crunchyroll is pretty good at doing like
simulcast weekly.
Simulcast, yeah. So
Netflix is definitely the only company that I know that does all in one go, right? Or does Hulu do that?
I don't have Hulu, so I can't really say anything about it. But I can see that. Like, since you're talking up Full Dive so much, I think I'll still continue because I did really like the start of the story.
Yeah, it's stupid fun. That's all it is. Stupid fun.
It's basically like Sword Art Online, like the stupid edition.
Yeah, the thing I like about this game is that you have to be in good health to be able to do physical stuff in the game. So like good runner does good running in the game. Good boxer would be great at fighting in the game. Stuff like that. If you're fat, you're not going to stand a chance. Your machine's going to break. And I probably should have mentioned that to you.
Okay, so he hasn't died yet, right? Yeah?
No. If he dies, his whole gaming setup breaks. That's like a big point of it. They took in episode 7 or something like that, where they talked about how in the past when the game originally came out, they were like protesting in front of the company building and lawsuits against them for breaking their device. And keep in mind, these are like people that their device broke upon exiting the starting area, like really quickly. They got messed up.
Got like one shot or something, or what?
Yep, that's why the game fell into obscurity, and that's why I don't know why this lady's crazy about playing it. Like they haven't gone into the background of the shop owner.
So this is a legit rich man's game, almost.
It's not a rich man's game. It's a game that will definitely make you into a rich man because by all the examples that they've shown in the show, if you've done really well in the game, you've become successly later in life. Because there's a guy that became a politician, there's a guy that became a famous boxer, stuff like that.
But I'm saying, like, if you're like, imagine it, if your PC breaks down every time you die in this game, you either need to get good. Yeah, you either need to get good, or this is a rich man's game. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is.
It's like Dark Souls, man, with higher stakes.
Dude, if Dark Souls, like if your PC bricked every time you died in Dark Souls, I think Dark Souls would have not been as popular.
Yeah, definitely. It wouldn't even have had so many sequels.
Exactly. Like I think Dark Souls is just a horrible basis because that game is known for like trial by fire. Like the reason why you play that game is to die you die and then you learn from your deaths. That's how it is. So I
Right.
think you need to die.
The reason
in Dark
this guy
Souls.
hasn't died is because he has added. I'm gonna spoil something for you about the show, but
Yeah,
you know
go
it's
for
a
it.
stupid fun show. He does have a guide that he's loosely following, based on a character that did really well in it.
Oh, like that. I think they talked about in like episode 3 or something like that. The guy that's never died or whatever. Or
That's the one.
yeah, the guy that's like that beat the game in like so many days or something like that. Or I don't remember, but that's what I got from like episode 3. What other animes did you enjoy this season that you're currently caught up on?
Surprisingly, Cestus I'm enjoying, and it's not the best show, but you know it feels. You know what? Every time I watch it, it feels like I'm watching a. I remember back in Houston, I would get Channel 14 Saturday mornings. They'd have these weird church cartoons. Feels like I'm watching a church cartoon only because it's set in Rome and that time area. There's nothing special going on. They're just fighting, and it's okay. It's like a 6.2 out of 10 for me. I don't know why I keep on watching it, but it definitely has me attracted to it. And the
What
animation's
about,
like a little bit wonky at times.
What about Seijo no Mariko?
Is that the one about the saint? Yeah, I watch that one every
yeah.
Tuesday. It's worth it.
I
It's
dropped it. I dropped it hard on like episode 3 because it wasn't going anywhere.
It's pretty much. Yeah, I'd say
It's
hasn't
not
really
going
gone
anywhere.
too much anywhere. There's
Dude,
political
not,
stakes that have risen, but nothing fancy has happened.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I thought it was gonna be somewhat like Bookworm,
right?
But it's
less so.
Not.
It's not Bookworm at all. This is more, you know, people finding out the character is OP, and that there's gonna be political ramifications. And you're watching it for that. For the king feuding with his son, stuff like that.
But they shoehorn a lot of romance in there. And,
yeah, pretty much.
That takes up that takes up a lot of, I don't know, time real estate. I mean it's all right for like the type of anime it is, but it wasn't going the way I thought it would. And I just dropped it just because it feels like another filler at that point. Like
I watch it because it's my Tuesday anime. That's the one I chose to watch for Tuesday. That's literally the only reason why I keep on watching it. It's okay. It's not bad. It's a decent watch. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. You know, rainy day anime.
Like the reason why I dropped it is because it made me feel like the same feeling I had when I was watching 300 Slime. Because it started out good and then it just did the same thing over and over.
Yeah, so, that's basically what it is. She learns new magics, and you learn she's really good at it without having to put too much effort into it. That's rinse and repeat so far.
That's basically like every other anime, like isekai anime for like the last 4 or 5 years. We haven't had a lot of animes like this, and I don't know. I just don't feel like watching it. I just don't.
It's watch Full Dive over it for sure. If you had to choose between the two.
Yeah, I guess I'll pick up Full Dive. Okay, so you said Mars Red was getting good. I still only watched the first episode. Is it worth picking up now that you're further into it?
It's worth it, I would say, for me for sure. It's definitely not a filler anime for me, but it's, a decent watch. It's a rainy day anime for sure. By rainy day, I mean like something, you pick it random to watch. I would recommend somebody watch it for rainy day for sure. Not for the story, because obviously I'm comparing it to the 2 top heavy hitters of this season, right? In another season, this would be like a high 8 out of 10 for me, 8.6. But for this one, it's like a 8.2, 7.9.
Okay, so I want to call. Okay, so I'm looking on the my anime list chart, right?
Right.
How is Mashiro no Oto at number 23 and Mars Red is at number 20?
Hot guys, Ikemen.
Mashiro no Oto has hot guys.
Yeah, but these dudes are freaking man.
I don't.
I fangirl.
And Sentinel
I'd have a big poster in
11.
my room of them. It's a freaking pretty show, dude. Do you remember Owarino Seraph?
Yeah.
The same type of vibes I get from that show. I don't know what the heck happened to that show, by the way. That just kind of disappeared somewhere, didn't it?
I can barely recall anything about that anime.
Yeah, it had a good opening. That's all I remember. But Mars Red it has the same vibes, but these are adult men. You know, in I don't know what the year was. I
Is
think
it
in
basically
1930s, something like that. 1940s.
Is it like hot guys doing hot things, basically?
Not
anime?
not typical hot guys. Not if you're talking about in the same way for like Bishonen Tentai Den, which definitely not watching. It's not that type
not like
of
Skate, not I'm not talking anything like Skate, no,
aesthetic.
but I'm talking about like
rugged dudes.
Cool guys? What about cool guys doing cool things?
Cool guys is fair.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool guys doing cool things. But with some elegance to it, right? Because there's vampires that are all fancy and stuff like that. There's definitely I wouldn't say a lot has happened in the show. It's mostly like you're watching them go through their job, and then there's stakes being raised in the more recent episodes. But for the first episodes that I've seen, what's it at right now? Episode only at episode 8 did I feel like they're starting to introduce like real, here's where the story's going. We're heading towards our end game finally.
Interesting. So it's basically just all build up until the next episode.
It's only 13 episodes long. It's felt like they could have made a story arc for the first 3 episodes maybe, because at the start they had that lady die, and later like at episode 7 or 8 they finally like show some backstory for her. But definitely, the story flow for me, I'm not feeling it too much, but it's not bad. It's just, normal.
Interesting. What about Hige?
What episode were you on it?
I'm still on the first episode. First episode. Yeah, because like I said, I'm only watching 5 or 6 animes this season. And
the reason why I keep on watching Mars Red, because how in that first episode they're all reciting plays and stuff like that. That's what hooked me, and that's why I keep on watching it, because it has that same feel throughout the show. It doesn't drop that same feeling. It doesn't slow down. It just keeps a steady pace, introducing new things, and it's kind of like watching Vampire Cops. I guess that's how I would call it, but with elegance to it.
Like, I think the reason why I ended up not watching more of it is because I just hate it when an anime drops you in without any context.
Yeah, I kind of hated that too, and they explained who that character was a little bit later. Like I said, just recently they explained it. Not until now.
So, I think
it was 8 or 7 where they explained who that person was.
Do you remember last season when we were talking about that one anime, the anime you really liked, the one where they go into like a different dimension and hunt down like ghosts or monsters or something like that?
Or a Sekai Picnic?
Yeah, and you said like most people wouldn't know they would like it until they're into episode like between 6 or 8 or something like that. Out of like a 12 episode anime, I'm like,
well, if you liked episode 1 for that show, if you liked episode 1 and 2, you'd like the whole show. But for this show, it's like, yeah, if you like the first episode, keep on watching it because it's more of that.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, it was an alright episode, but I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't enjoy just being dropped into like the middle of nowhere. And
trust me, I know what you mean. There was oh man, I forget what it was called, but I don't remember the name. It was so long ago. But they basically show the end of the movie at the beginning. Then the next episode, they start out at episode, 8 episodes behind the events of that happening. I hate that. But for this show, it's permissible. It's okay.
Yeah, sometimes they do that good, but is that what happens in Mars Red, where they, or is it in chronological order?
So I don't know why they decided to introduce that character at the start just to kill her off on the second episode or something like that, or at the end of the first.
No, on the end of the first episode.
Yeah, but just kind of forget what you saw in episode 1, then just start watching it from episode 2. She's like motive for like the main character. I guess you could call him the main character. She's kind of like motive for him. She's always like in the back of his head. But he's always country and duty over everything else, I would say. And I'm at the point where I'm starting to see where wheels are turning and his ideals might be changing a little bit. I'm not sure what to expect from that guy.
it just feels like this. I don't know. This anime is like all over the place, and like we even neither of us have watched Tokyo Revenge. Like I think you watched a couple episodes, right? Like,
2, 3, the one about time traveling and saving somebody from dying.
I have not watched it at all. Like when you said that, I'm like, are you sure you're not talking about Vivi Fluorite Ice Song?
That one has time skips. Actually,
but the main idea is that they go back in time and stop.
Yeah, Vivi is like a must watch for this season. For me, it's a must watch.
I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of hard to talk about without spoiling it because it I don't know, it moves in that type of...
Well, we're supposed to be sharing our thoughts, right? So just go ahead and spoil it, because I already spoiled some stuff.
Yeah, but they weren't big spoilers. Like I could totally get about spoiling like Nagatoro, because you can't really spoil that much for it, because it's that type of anime where...
Yeah.
Even if you spoil like certain parts, like it's still like worth a watch because it's not spoil heavy.
So for Vivi, the show is about... By the way, there's like, I want to spoil it about the robot model. You remember the robot or the AI that goes into the bear costume? Mm-hmm. That gets retired and he gets a new body. And like, just by seeing it, you're going to know exactly what it's a reference to. I'll let you watch. How many episodes are you into that show? Because I'm at episode 10 out of 13.
I think I'm 3 episodes behind, so not fully caught up. But
did you see the new model for the AI?
I have not seen the new model.
I'll let you watch it. It's glorious. You'll know. You're gonna message us like, oh my god, that's exactly who I think it is from a certain game.
But what I was saying is like, it's like, the thing is, I don't want to talk about like the story spoiler, and the whole anime is a story spoiler. And I'm saying that it's a good anime, but I don't want to spoil any of the story. Motive,
the main point of the story is Vivi and the AI that came back from the future are trying to stop AI human wars, basically trying to stop Skynet from starting.
Yeah,
that's it. And every mission she has is her working towards that, as time travel. If you change something, you might change a whole laundry list of things, or it'll still keep on going to inevitability of what it was always destined to happen. And you're kind of on that ride.
You know how I would perceive, like, if I was gonna tell people like how I would have thought of this anime. What was that anime from a while back? The one that got like a live action.
Riri?
No.
Was that the one with the bump of chicken on it, where he travels back in time to solve murders or something like that?
I'm talking about the anime that the one with the major, and then they have like the robot spiders. The
Spider Raiders? No.
The one about hacking. I forgot what it was called.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
It's a very they had it on like Cartoon or Adult Swim. It's the one about hacking, and they had like the Tachikomas, the spiders.
Ghost in the Shell.
So it's I would say that this like Vivi Flora Ice Song is basically Ghost in the Shell with like a very easy to follow story. That's how I kind of see it. It's basically Ghost in the Shell, but with an easy to follow story. Because Ghost in the Shell, it's basically about, I don't know, hacking and following up on like certain, I don't know, procedures or whatever. Like Vivi, I was getting that same vibe like when I was watching. Do you remember
I Am a Robot, that movie with Will Smith?
Yeah.
It's basically that mixed with Terminator. That's all it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like
it's about AI rights and development of humanity within robots. And they definitely have their personalities, which is what I like.
I mean, I'll just go back to say it's basically like Detroit Become Human. It's 100% Detroit Become Human. I don't know how else to explain the anime.
Just say that then.
Yeah, like if I was gonna compare it to another anime, I would compare it to Ghost in the Shell. That's like the closest comparison I would.
It's been so long since I saw Ghost in the Shell that I couldn't comment on that.
Oh, Yeah, but it's straight up just Detroit become human, and then you're following basically a character with a little bit of time travel. That's it. She can see into the future, or she's told what happens in the future, and then she can change what happens doing X or Y, and that's basically the whole anime.
By the way, just to quickly go from Vivi, I wanted to talk about a different anime because
which one?
Odd Taxi. That's like, I know I said I had a top 3, but this is probably the 3rd place, and then I'll move back the one anime that I mentioned to number 4 because Odd Taxi's like shining really brightly on its own.
It's such a great, isn't it crazy how Odd Taxi has more human emotions than most other animes?
Yeah, I would say that.
Their expressions.
They're just people, right?
They're just people with anime or with animal forms
in anime.
Yeah, there's so many crazy twists to this show. I didn't expect all these twists. That
the 5 degrees of separation, as you call it.
Yeah, it feels like a great anime to just put on, just to see where it goes. It's a good follow, and I love the main character. He has motivation, and we're starting to see like his why he's doing what his motivations are. At first I thought he was a super boring main character, but he's
just a grumpy old guy, right? He's like a 40-year-old.
But after you learn more about his background, you can kind of like see like, oh, okay, I kind of see where he's getting from, because like how far like are you currently?
I'm current. I watch it every week. The only time I wasn't current was when I skipped the first 3 episodes, and then you said go to watch it, and I did. And I was like, okay, yeah. I missed out. Worth to watch it. and if it wasn't for those other 2 anime, this would have the best opening of the show.
Yeah, it's
very good opening. I like it.
There's so many good like openings.
Nothing but bangers and mash this season for openings.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, like what is your like current favorite
opening?
Yeah.
Probably the one for Mashiro Nota that got replaced, or the one for Fumetsu.
The original.
Yeah, that was so good. The show recent. Oh god damn it!
I don't know why. Yeah,
what's the worst opening of this season? That's what I want to know.
I haven't watched all these animes, so I wouldn't.
Oh, that's fair.
I can't really comment. Yeah,
definitely. That for me, the worst one is the. I hate it. Like, it's so catchy. I like listening to it. I never skip it, but it's a garbage song in my opinion. The one for the Isekai Mao to Shokudan Shoujo Dore Majutsu, and then has like an Omega sign in the title. To the one with Diablo. Fuck it. I'm gonna say the one with Diablo. That one has like, it's like DDR music, but it's an earworm is what it is. I keep on hearing it just when I'm doing other stuff in the back of my head. I don't want to listen to the fucking song. I just, when you hear it once, you're gonna be required to hear it again just to get it out of your system. And then it'll creep back in, and then, it's a curse is what it is.
You know, that kind of reminds me of, in Log Horizon, the song Database. I legit, that's not a great
song. That's a great song.
I did not like the song, but it's an earworm. I don't know. It's not a song I would listen to over and over, but like if it like sometimes I just have my like I'm just thinking about it because it's just so catchy. It's like Database. No, they just yell it at you.
That's a legit hype song. I would put this in the same tier as that stupid song that they always played at school at events, the cha-cha two-step. That song. Yeah. That's how annoying it is. That's how grating it is to me. But I keep on wanting to listen to it for some reason. I don't even remember what that fucking. I'm sure I could Google it, and just by putting in cha-cha song, it'll immediately pop up as the top result.
I know exactly. Where the basically. They make you like take a step forward, take a step back. The 2 slide,
something like that. I don't remember. I've heard it a million times.
Yeah. Okay, let me see what other animes. I think we already talked about 86 is a good anime, but I it's on the back burner for me. I'll probably keep up watching it. He gave Soru the one where he takes in the random girl. Are you currently current on it?
Super good. Keep on watching it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty current with it too. Okao, the one about the dragon finding the house. That's a must watch for this season.
Is it a must watch?
You say filler must watch. Filler must watch.
You say must watch for a lot of these animes.
I mean, it's a big basket of goodness is what it is. There's a lot of good stuff this season. Dude, there's so many anime this season that I haven't watched. I think I've only watched half of them.
It's a ridiculous. It feels like this one season it's like a whole year smashed together. That's how I feel. Yeah, it's overload. It's anime overload. And you want to know something?
What?
Kumo Desu is still airing, but I forgot all about it. I stopped watching it.
I'm current on it, dude. I'm loving it still.
I should keep watching it. I don't know why I stopped. It's because, like I said, 5 to 6 anime a season. I feel like it just got pushed aside just because there's so many other good animes.
No way, not for me. I'm always current on that one. Sure, it's it's not the best. It's a show about a stupid spider. That's why I'm gonna keep on watching it.
Right.
I just like watching her do her
like I'm not saying it's a bad anime. I'm just saying like I don't know.
You want me to spoil something for you?
I mean you've been spoiling everything else. Why not?
Yeah, sure. She's finally started interacting with people, and it's freaking ridiculous.
Well, I knew that was gonna happen eventually. Like they had to do that eventually, right?
Yeah, but they basically are worshiping the spider, and she's like having monologues, and they just hear screeching coming out of her mouth. That's like my favorite thing.
I guess besides that, any other anime you technically want to talk about?
I'm sure, but there's just way too many on the list. Boku no Hero is always a banger. Eden Zero.
Yeah, like I mean, there's a lot of second seasonal animes we haven't talked about. Yeah, like Boku no Hero, like
Boku no Hero is like what, the 5th season now, 6th?
I don't even know.
Zombieland Saga is amazing. How dare you not want to talk about that?
It's because it's a second season. I usually don't want to talk about second seasons just because it kind of spoils, for people who haven't watched the first season.
Yeah, like they finally had a really good episode about Tai. And
about what?
The zombie girl that doesn't really speak.
Oh,
they just did like a slice of life episode. They follow her around grocery shopping, and everybody interacting with her. She like starts chewing on this one girl's hair. She's like, "I told you that hurts, Tai. Stop it." Everybody gives her food, dude. She goes to graveyard and steals food. You know how they offer.
So, did they ever go? I've watched like one episode. What about Iruma-kun? I know you've been watching it. I haven't watched it. I need to watch it. I really love the first season. Man, there's too many animes.
What was Iruma-kun about again? Yeah. I remember the human in the demon world. I'm watching that. I'm current. It's a filler.
Like you're definitely watching more animes than I am. I don't know. I'm only watching like.
Dude, you're playing too much Monster Hunter and Pokemon now. That's what's going on. How dare you? How dare you have a fun time?
I have my limited time here. I need a double up. I need to watch it. I wish I understood more Japanese so I could watch Japanese while I play Monster.
I know we've had more than enough time to learn it, but I'd rather just play video games and farm.
Yeah, it's just one or the other. It's too much.
I know.
All right, I guess that's pretty much it for this episode. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. Later.
Oh yeah, definitely later when we finish all this. Oh.
We're not going to finish all of it.
No, not at all. Look, we're gonna finish all the good stuff and then we're gonna come back and talk about it.
I know I'm gonna get to like episode 12 out of 13 of at least one show and then forget to watch it, then go back to watch it like 5 years later.
I surprisingly do that too.
More than I like to admit to. At least 5 different times.
I know it's so jarring. All right, I guess we'll just call this the episode. So we'll catch you guys later. Bye.